I'm going up. Just be careful for this extension part when you go up.
And we are live. Guys, I want to personally welcome you to the Coach Beast Show. It is Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. And guys, I'm super excited, man. This is a great show we're going to do today. We're going to talk about youth football and why youth football is dying. This is y'all don't want to miss this because I'm going to give you some truth bombs as to why I believe youth football is dying, and we're going to have an in-depth conversation about that on the front end of the show. As always, once we get to the bottom of the hour, 6:30 Central Standard Time, we're going to open up for live Q&A. So coaches, if you got any questions as it relates to youth football coaching strategies, playbooks, anything related to youth football or football, you just want to chop it up, right? You got to get some stuff off your chest. We talk about everything over here, guys, as you know. And like I said, really appreciate you guys giving me your time. And so we're going to get started right away. So as you guys already know, my favorite segment, shout out your city, state, and team. So if you're just chiming in, I want to hear it. Let me know where you're coming from, what city, what state. If you are a youth football coach, rep your team, and I'm going to give you a shout out. Let me see what we got here. I'm doing good, coach. I'm doing good. Quality consignment. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for chiming in. Let's see here. What's up, cool kid? What's going on, man? I hope you're doing good. Zoe, how you doing? I hope you're doing great. Y'all drop your city and state. Let me know where y'all coming from so we can get started with this show. And you know what? I don't think I ever shared directly where I'm located, like where I'm coming from. So forgive me for that, guys. I am from the state of Alabama. I stay in Tuscaloosa County. I don't stay in Tuscaloosa proper anymore. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I kind of stay in between Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, Alabama, which soon we are looking to make a move. So we're still going to be in Alabama for now, but we are making a move for the family. And then, you know, in about 4 or 5 years, I'm planning, me and Miss Beast, we really want to move to the West Coast somewhere. I like Cali. Miss Beast is from Cali. She want to visit Cali, but she don't want to live in Cali. So our number one place is Arizona. To be more specific, Phoenix, Arizona is where we want to live, or at least one of our top spots. All right, guys, let's see here. We got the Whitehaven Saints in the house from Memphis, Tennessee. We got Northwest North Carolina in the house. We got Grand Junction, Colorado in the house with Coach Deuce. What's up, my guy? What's up? We got Chief JB. What's up, Chief? How you doing, bro? I hope you're doing well. Let's see. We got Coach Larry in the house from Georgia. Super Sports Elite Mustangs. 9U. We got My boy, Coach Marv in the house, Seaside, California, with representing the Seaside Raiders. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see who else we got. We got Conroe, Texas in the house, representing the Conroe Chargers. Shout out to you. All right, guys. So we're going to get ready to get started. If you're currently typing your location and all of that, I will get to you. A few things I do want to mention as well, guys. There's a storm right now, like severe weather. Like in guys, if you live in the South, especially Alabama, you know we get a lot of like tornadoes and stuff around this time of the year. So right now, I'm in the middle of severe weather, a windstorm. So if the power cuts off or anything like that, y'all know what's going on. All right, guys. We got let me see, the Manatee Wildcats in the house, and they're from Florida. Shout out to you, Coach Vincent. How you doing, man? We got Norfolk, Virginia in the house, the 757 Bucks Elite. What's up, Coach? Really excited. Let me see. Maybe 87 says supposed to hit here at 7 a.m. Oh man, where you coming from? Maybe. Yeah, man. Like, you know, in Alabama, when you know it's transitioning from winter to the spring, the weather is great, feels amazing, but we pay for it with like tornadoes and severe weather and stuff like that, flooding. And I stay in the country a little bit, so you know, to me, it seems like when you're in the country, you get the worst of the worst. You know, and if you stay in like a rural area of the country a little bit, you kind of you know what I'm talking about when it comes down to that. All right, guys, so let's get to it. Let's get to the first segment of the show. And the question for the day is this: why is youth football dying? Why is youth football dying? Is it dying? Let me know, guys. Do you believe youth football is dying? If you do, put 1 in the comments. If you don't believe it's dying, put 2, okay? So 1 in the comments if you believe that youth football is dying. Put a 2 in the comments if you believe youth football is okay. It's A-okay. And then, you know, we're going to get into it. Autumn Win, what's going on, man? How you doing? How you doing? We got a 1. We got a 2. Oh, this is going to be good. Hey, we got a 1.5. Shout out to the Virginia Bulls, by the way. While y'all doing that, I'm going to finish the shout outs here. We got Macomb Ravens from Macomb, Mississippi, man. I hope y'all safe over there. Y'all get the storms before we do. I hope you're safe and doing good. We got Mount Airy Bulldogs. I like that name. Shout out to you, Coach Ricky. Hope you're doing well, man. All right, we got ones. We got the parents. Screw the 1s and 2s. We just gonna get out there and talk about the parents. Oh man, we're gonna talk about the parents too. So let's see. We got 2. Vincent says not in Florida. Oh man, good point. Hey, I got a point on that one. In the set, Coach. We got Brownsboro, Texas in the house. Go Bears. Shout out to you, Coach. Too many. Coach Nielsen says shout out to you, by the way, Coach. Too many ego maniac coaches and parents. Ooh, man, I love you guys. We be on the same page about everything, seems like, right? So, do I believe youth football is dying? If I had to place my vote on this, it'd be very similar to what one of the coaches put, 1.5, right? Yes and no. It's dying. Yes and no. My answer is yes and no. Now, let me be clear. It's dying in states that are not football states. Let me start there. And then we'll talk about why. We'll talk about the why it's dying. If you're in a football state like Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, Cali, even though Cali is a little different, football's not going nowhere. Football is culture. right? So in those states, tackle football is not dying. But in states who are not football states per se, youth football is under attack. Specifically, um, states who are not big football states, that may be basketball states or whatever. Yeah. Tackle football is dying. They're trying to ban it. They're trying to get rid of it. And do I think it's a damn shame? Absolutely. Because the people who are trying to get rid of tackle football, I guarantee you, a lot of them have never played. A lot of them can't relate. And a lot of them don't have positive experiences. Now, on the other hand, youth football is not dying. And I did a little research. Before the show. And here's the thing, and y'all going to be shocked with what I'm about to say. Flag football is growing like wildfire. It's exploding. So what parents are doing, especially in these non-football states, is instead of them putting their kid into tackle football, they're putting their kid into flag football. And Coach Deuce made a great point. He said flag football is hurting the sport. Now, here's the thing. Here's what's going on. And here's why I believe flag football is hurting the sport. Now, am I for flag football? The answer is yes. I think it's great for skill guys. It's great for off-season training, conditioning. You can really have a major advantage if you get your skill guys in the off season and you put them in a flag football league, and your guys will already be acclimated. You already have chemistry built for the fall. The problem is, what are our big boys doing? What do we have for our big boys as it relates to football in the off season? So I think flag football is great for the skill guys and for cohesion and chemistry, but I think it's terrible for our big guys, which our big boys need the most development. By the time they hit junior high, JV, these kids just learning how to really block. If they skipped tackle football on the youth level, and I got some buddies who are high school football coaches. The number one thing they tell me that's the problem with kids who play JV, high school, even junior high. One of my closest buddies, he's a junior high football coach. The kids don't know how to block. Kids don't know how to block. Kids don't know how to tackle. Kids don't know how to get into a 3-point stance or anything like that. So they have to teach all of that, right? And that becomes very problematic. So that begs the question, why is youth football dying? Especially in these non-football states. Man, I'm finna spit some bars, guys. Get ready. And do me a solid, guys. I forgot at the top of the show, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're watching on Instagram, guys, go ahead and hit that like button. Do that for me. So let's talk about the why. Number one. Why number one? You got a lot of poor quality coaches out there. Very poor quality coaches out there. All right. For some reason, I don't know at what point this happened. I want to say the early 2000s, but at some point, it seems as if the majority of the youth football leagues out there let anybody coach. Even when they see bad behavior, and when I say bad behavior, I'm not talking about fights and shootings and stuff like that, right? I'm talking about as soon as they see coaches bickering back and forth, fussing, fighting at the kids, cussing the kids slap out, the league's not doing anything about these guys. As a matter of fact, these guys find a corner of the internet where they have a fan base of people who think it's hard to be fussing at another coach and be ready to fight. They think it's hard. And they'll call you soft if, you know what I'm saying, if they hear you say this is wrong or that is wrong or that's not how you do it. So you got a lot of coaches who are ego driven, who are not winners, who are in it for themselves, who I don't want to say don't know football, but I'm going to say you got some who don't know football, but more so you got low character men and women in our leagues. I mean, think about your league, right? Think about your league. Think about the teams in your league, right? The programs. Tell me this. How many teams in your league would you say is quality? I mean, literally, when you look at them, you like, man, that's a good football program. I like how they do things. I like how classy they are. I like how they develop their kids. I like how they include the girls, the boys, all of that. Like how many teams in your league does that? I guarantee you, for the vast majority of you guys, it's only one or two teams in each league that I would say has a standard and has a high standard and seen as quality. Coach Nielsen said, look, one team. I know, right? Let me go over here. Let me see. See what my IG people saying. Coach said Vegas is about 50-50. Most leagues only got one or two teams top that is deemed as a quality program that looks like the standard, right? In their league. They raise the bar. They set the tone. The kids feel safe, right? The parents feel like their kids feel safe. And we're going to get to the parents in a minute. But I want to get to the coaches because the coaches help to set the tone for the culture of their program, right? And one of the core problems with youth football today is somewhere in the early 2000s, we started letting anybody and everybody coach our kids. And even if these leagues do background checks, for some reason, they're still low character, no high ego driven coaches in these leagues, down to the point where everybody sees it, everybody knows it, you know it, I know it, we all know it, but nobody's really doing nothing about it unless something crazy happens where there's a big fight, a brawl, a shooting, or something like that, right? Like nobody's doing nothing about these coaches. And what makes it even more worse is that leagues aren't regulated like that. Like there's not no real like uniformed protocol to where we're able to filter out these bad coaches. A lot of these bad coaches, they're able to pass the background check, or they may join a team that, you know, they may have a bad background, but they may join a team because they buddies with the head football coach. And before you know it, you got this bad quality, bad culture, not only youth football program, but you got this bad culture league. And we know these bad leagues out here. It's a lot of them. It's a bad ones here in Bama. It's some bad ones in Georgia. It's some bad ones in Florida. There's bad ones in every single state. Let's go to number 2. Why is youth football dying? We got too many entitled parents, man. As I speak to you guys in 2025, I would say parents are as worse as the coaches, if not worse. Okay. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen parents, man, I've seen parents come on the field, fuss with the ref about the score. They're not a coach, and they're just a parent. I've seen parents come to games drunk, ready to fight other parents. I've seen parents sober trying to fight other parents, right? Then you got some parents who don't even show up. You got parents who don't even show up for their kids' games, practices, things of that nature. And we're gonna, and let me say this too, we're gonna get to some solutions. We're gonna get to some things that I believe that we can do as a collective to improve the quality of coaches, and also being able to like regulate the way these parents are. When parents act up in my program, guys, and look, I'm the first to tell you, like, I've had moments where, you know, parents got out of control and I had to bark back and I had to let them go. I've let parents go in my program and have no problem doing it. I don't know if it's because of my degree in human resource management. I've hired and fired people and all of that stuff. And I'm just good with firing people. Coach Tate, let me put this up, man. This is funny because I know y'all can relate. Coach Tate says the whole parking lot smells like weed at every game and tournament. And to that point, man, I got out of travel football for one of those reasons. Like, I got out of travel football because, man, you got parents gambling. They gambling, you know, over their kids. You got, like, the field smell like weed, the parking lot smell like weed, parents high, parents just all over the place. They ready to fight. They got beef and all of that bull crap. Even, and look, let me be clear about something. This not only happens in the hood. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. A lot of hood leagues and teams, you see that happen a lot. It's all on the internet, right? But I see this happen in the suburbs, man. I see this happen like in the city. It happens everywhere. It's not just a hood thing, right? And number 3, there's not enough coaches. There's not enough good men and women who's willing to coach, because what happens is the bad coaches, the bad administrators, the bad leaders of these leagues, they run away good men and women. And these good men and women rather not coach, or rather put their kid in flag, than deal with disrespect from another coach, deal with disrespect from a parent, deal with disrespect from the league president or any, you know, administrator in the league. So, like, there's some guys I know, great coaches, they can coach high school or college ball. And the reason why they don't coach football no more, youth football no more, is because they keep being exposed to disrespect, negativity. Like, think about it. Think about this. Hold on, guys. Let's pause real quick. Shout out to Coach WJ Sam for the super chat. 1,000. He says 1,000% correct, Coach. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Much love and respect. Appreciate that super chat. Gotta show my super chat people some love. But a big problem is you got people who care about success, care about safety, care about family, care about productivity, development, and they go into these leagues, and you got coaches high, kids, you know, disrespectful. You got you smelling weed out in the parking lot. You got all kind of BS going on, and you get a guy like me and like a lot of you, and you like, to hell with that. I'm not going to have my son in this league anymore, or I'm not going to coach in this league anymore. I got daughters. So my daughters were cheerleaders in my program. Do you think I want my daughters in an environment where I feel like it's unsafe? Right? No. So what's happening, guys, is you got, because youth football is unregulated, it's very grassroots, very community based, right? So what's happening is we're getting the worst of the worst from the hood, from the rural communities, from the cities, and they're coaching youth football, and they're not winners, they're losers. And I'm going to say something, and hopefully this doesn't disrespect some of you guys, but y'all know me. I'm going to tell the truth and stuff like that. Men, We need more real men who are winners, who understand success, who values family, who don't put up with BS. We need them in youth football ASAP. Because a lot of the guys who are coaching our kids don't even know what winning looks like in their real life, in their personal life. And that's the problem. We got too many men who are losers, who haven't experienced any level of success in their personal life. And when they start winning a game or two in youth football, they get addicted to it. They get addicted to it, and it goes to their ego. And I see it all the time, man. I post a video, or I post a video and a coach will post it. Hey, I want to play your team. We're in Nashville, Tennessee. We want to play y'all. We'll beat the crap out of y'all. Dude, first and foremost, I'm not finna travel to Nashville to prove anything. Number one, unless it's league regulated and it's just what we do. Number one, because I have nothing to prove, right? Number two, I've been coaching for 15 years. I haven't coached since I think 2022. Miss B, she know, but since 2021, 2022. So I don't have a team to play against you with. Nor do I care to play against you, because I'm not an ego-driven coach. It's about the kids for me. It's about development. It's about preparing these kids for life. You got dudes who coaching kids who have been bums their whole life, who don't even take care of their own kids. Oh, man. Did I say that? Ooh. You got guys who don't take care of their own kids, who don't take care of their own business. And the only reason they coaching is because it's an outlet, and it gives them a sense of accomplishment and winning. I know it. You know why I know? I've been a kid where when I first started head coaching youth football, I was 20 years old. I didn't know what my career path was going to be. As a lot of you guys know, I thought I was going to be in the Air Force for at least 4 years, right? Then I had a medical discharge. And then once I came back home, I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? Am I going to go to college, finish college? Am I going to just go straight into the workforce? And so I jumped into youth football at 20, and I didn't have nothing going on for me. And then when I started winning, guess what happened? The winning went to my head. It went to my head. And then when I started achieving my own success, guys, my own personal success in business, in corporate America, I was the first to graduate college in my family, all of that good stuff. I understood, it hit me that, youth football isn't about me. It's about giving back to the kids, giving back to my community. And that's what I did. It changes your perspective when you are a winner going into coaching youth football, opposed to being a loser or losing, and then you start winning in youth football. Now you feel like you're the shit. And that's when the shit hits the fan, because everybody knows your shit stinks but you. And that's the problem. Everybody know your shit stinks but you. And the people who follow you, who is full of shit too. Excuse my language, guys. But it's the truth. So before we switch to live Q&A, and guys, if you're watching on Instagram, let me see here. My Instagram people. Coach Garrett, man, appreciate the congrats, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. For my Instagram people, what I'm going to do is go ahead and give you the link, the YouTube link. Come over and follow me on YouTube. We're going to go into our live Q&A in a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put that now. YouTube channel. My YouTube people, just hang tight, and we're going to get back started here. Boom. All right. So my Instagram people got the link for you to come over to YouTube. Go ahead and do that now. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 minutes to do that. And we're going to shut the chat down on Instagram. All right. So And guys, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and get your questions ready. If you want, you can go ahead and drop your questions in the comments, and you'll be the first to get your question answered. If I missed your question, please forgive me. Really, the best thing to do is the super chat. Super chat, that guarantees that your message or your question will be answered by me. All right, guys? All right. Solutions. Let's briefly talk about solutions, because honestly, this is the most important part. I'm a man of solutions. I hate drama. One thing y'all gonna learn about Coach Beast, I hate drama. I hate negativity. You know why? Because there's no solutions around it. Problems are meant to be solved. They're not meant to be just talked about and discussed. They're meant to be solved. So if you're going to discuss it, can we get a solution, right? So here's one solution. Number one, we got to get some quality badass men and women coaching our kids, especially men. Because we got more women coaching our kids now because a lot of the men won't coach. You got a lot of women. I got followers who on YouTube and IG. Shout out to Coach C. And you know what's so awesome about Coach C is that she's been grunt. She's a ref. She's an official. She's a coach. She give it all to the game. But why does it just have to be her doing it? She in these leagues, and you got all these dudes there causing all kind of chaos and mayhem. Where are the real men? Where are the guys who don't put up with BS and are protectors, right? Let me pause, guys. Shout out to Travis. The super chat. Guys, I swear I'm going to get some sound up in here, and we're going to like freaking get down with these super chats, man. Shout out to you. He says, as a first-time head coach, what should I focus on to start? Great question. Great question. Thank you for the super chat, Travis. So, Coach, the first thing you need to focus on, if you are a first-time coach, number one, and this really don't have nothing to do with football. You need to focus on yourself to make sure that you have the right mindset going into the season. And what I mean by that is you don't want to come into this thing with ego, right? You want to come into this thing learning, understanding that, hey, okay, I'm learning just like these kids are learning. I'm learning how to coach just like these kids. That's number one. Number two, you need to build relationships with other coaches. The coaches in your league are not your enemy. They're your friends. Coaching is a relationship business, but connect the coaches who are positive, who got great programs. Do not connect with coaches who got bullshit programs, okay? That's really important. Do not connect with coaches who are negative, toxic, cheat, the whole 9 yards, okay? You want to connect with coaches who are like-minded like you. You guys listen to me and follow me, right? Right now, because you align with me, right? That's how you do it. Number three. Let me see. Yeah, three. Number three. And I see some people who already put this. I'm going to give them some love. Greeny. And Larry, Coach Larry, make sure the guys who are on your coaching staff respects your coaching philosophy and leadership philosophy. Because if you get guys on your staff who don't agree with how you coach or what plays you're calling, you're going to run into hell. You're going to run into a nightmare season. That was like, really, that's the number one thing I ran into when I first started coaching was I was young. A lot of the guys who was on my staff and even in the league was older than me. And so they felt like they could not talk to me in any kind of way, but they could advise and tell me what to do as it relates to my coaching style and philosophy. Because here's the thing. This is a big principle. Somebody taught me this years ago. It's okay for them to question a decision that you make. But it's not okay for them to challenge your leadership. When they start challenging your leadership, that's when you begin to get disrespected. And that's what you don't want to do. Because if you got coaches, and guys, I made a video on this a while back. Every program has a Judas. It's your job to find out who the Judas is in your program, okay? And you may like, who in the hell is Judas, right? So for those who don't know, Judas was one of Jesus' disciples. And Judas betrayed Jesus right? Judas betrayed Jesus for a sack of gold. And then he ended up going off and killed himself, or went out in the wilderness and died. And the thing about it, Jesus knew who the Judas was. He said it at the table when they was eating, you know, one of y'all among us is going to betray me, right? And so as a result, guess what happened? It happened. So it's important for you to understand that it may be a coach, an assistant coach, it may be a volunteer, it may be a parent, it may be your team mom or your cheer director. Find out who the Judas is and know what they may do to you. Okay? And look, just because you know who the Judas is, don't necessarily mean that you have to kick them out your program, because sometimes the Judas may be on the fence, right? They may like, I don't agree with him running the beast offense. You know, I think he should run the I formation, but let me see how this goes. And then you're able to really influence them and change it. I've had guys who was like that, where they was kind of on the fence about what plays I'm calling or what defense I'm running. And then, you know, you have to, you don't want to be a yes man. Stick to your principles, right? And then they either going to buy in or they're going to buy out. And sometimes you have to make them buy out. All right, guys. Another pause. We got another super chat in the house. Shout out to Coach Nick for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Coach Nick says, need to raise the bar when it comes to being a head coach, aka business owners, high level men. Oh my God. Yes. 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 Thank you for the super chat, Coach Nick. That's the key, guys. We have to raise the bar for who coach our kids. And the guys who got low standards, y'all know how I am about it. I'm calling that shit out, because at the end of the day, I want your kid to be safe. I want my kids to be safe. I want every kid that's coming to learn the game of football to be safe. And when you're out here and you got parents gambling, and look, let me tell you something about Coach Beast real quick. Let me tell you something about Coach Beast. I was born, I guess you can say country ghetto, right? I was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The neighborhood that I lived in was Holt. I don't know if you guys know about Holt, but it was a blue collar neighborhood. Now it's a hood. But when I was born and raised, it was a blue collar neighborhood. It had a mixture of kids. It was a very, in terms of diversity, it was very 50-50, black and white. We had a few Hispanics, but really it was black, white, and maybe 3-4% Hispanic, right? So I thank God for that experience, because I really learned to value people of every color, race, creed. But most of the people were, working middle class. You had a few middle class, and you had maybe 1 or 2% affluent kids going to the school, right? But in my neighborhood, I dealt with a lot. Like I came back to my hometown to coach youth football. And when I came back, you dealt with more, kids who may not have a father, and, they don't know what success looks like. I always share the story of, we was going to a youth football game, right? Going to a youth football game, and where we practice, we're like 5 minutes from this bridge we have to go over to a more really middle class, upper middle class area, right? And we went across the bridge with the team, and they was looking at some of the houses, and they was like, "Ooh, oh my God, coach." Now, mind you, these houses are really middle class houses, but these kids never seen that before. They're used to living in the hood in project homes. So for me, it was great for me to expose these kids to something better. And that clicked for me, that I wanted to show these kids that you don't have to just be stuck in the hood your whole life. There are career opportunities. There are opportunities for you to be successful, grow, have a family, man. But guess what? These kids won't be able to see it if we don't reflect it, and if it's not in us. If we don't have that success-driven mindset, if we're not men, what I mean when I say men who are willing to protect, provide, and lead. Protect, provide, and lead. If you're not willing to, as a man, to protect, provide, and lead, I don't believe you should coach youth football. Because especially if you're not protecting, providing, and leading for your own family. I really believe that. And look, I understand too, we all have problems as men, meaning we're not perfect, marriage, with marriage and stuff like that, you're going to go through your ups and downs. That's a part of it, right? But if you're like a straight loser and a straight jerk and asshole, you shouldn't be coaching. Not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. All right, guys. So at this time, and I know we already we started Q&A, but this is the official Q&A time. Q&A going to last 20 minutes. Again, guys, if you got questions or comments, put them in the comment section. I'm going to read them. We're going to talk about it. We're going to chop it up. My Instagram people, if you haven't already, go ahead and right now, because I'm about to cut you out right now, and get the URL to my YouTube channel and follow me over there on YouTube, guys. I will see you on the other side. Y'all bear with me real quick. All right. All right. Now we just on YouTube here. But with that being said, guys, let me get to your questions, your comments. And guys, do y'all feel what I'm saying? Like, does this resonate with you? If this resonate with you, put a 1 in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Because I want to know. I want to know. All right. Coach Kent. Question. We had a few, we had things we went over in practice, like blocking assignments repeatedly. When the game started, when the game started, 9U, brain seemingly went blank and they blocked the wrong defenders. Any advice? Yeah. Usually, coach, when that happens, and correct me if I'm wrong, my man, okay? Usually when that happens, you're teaching blocking, but you're not simulating real game situations at practice. And that becomes problematic because you can teach the kids how to block. You can go through the drills about blocking. But if you're not simulating that through scrimmages, that's what we do. We scrimmage a lot, a hell of a lot, probably more than any other team in our league, right? We scrimmage like hell because we want to give our kids as much game time experience as possible. So we do a lot of scrimmaging and we hold our kids' foot to the fire. So one or two things is probably going on, and it could be both. I think it's both. Correct me if I'm wrong, coach, in the comments, okay? Number one, you're doing great. You're teaching well, but y'all guys may not be critiquing hard enough. Meaning, you're teaching them how to block, but when they do it wrong or they're not doing it intense, nobody's saying anything. It's a very laid back teaching environment. Because usually if you're practicing with a level of intensity and you got putting the kids in game time situations, things of that nature, they're going to play like how they practice. They play how they practice. You win games at practice. You win games at practice. So if your guys aren't practicing with a level of intensity, you're not giving your kids a level of adversity, but you're just teaching, you're not critiquing, and you're just repeating, you're missing all the ingredients that make a good program, right? Teach, critique, repeat. And then you want to sprinkle motivation in between. Teach, critique, and what's the other one I said? Repeat, right? That's how you do it, coach. All right. I see a lot of ones right here. I see a lot of ones. All right, let's see here. Y'all bear with me. I'm getting to your questions. I'm making sure I didn't miss anybody and I missed no super chats or anything like that. All right, my boy, Coach Manning. What would you do with a coach that thinks he knows it all and don't know pretty much anything more than what he saw on on Monday Night Football? Well, while I was reading it, the first thing I said is that coach is ego-driven and probably an idiot. I hate to say it like that with all due respect, But I feel like we got to start calling stuff for what it is, right? If a dude a fool, he's a fool. If he's an idiot, he's an idiot. If he's brilliant, he's brilliant. If he's smart, he's smart. Is he disciplined? If he's disciplined, he's disciplined, right? So, coach, usually what I do, and I'm going to tell you what I do, but I'm going to tell you what usually happens with that kind of person. I have a conversation with that coach, right? Let me remove that. I have a conversation with the coach in private. Usually I will have another coach or my VP will be there. My VP, Miss Beast, is my VP. So she'll be with me as a witness, and we'll have a conversation with the coach, right? And if the coach stays in his lane, like if he's a position coach and he coached the defensive line, okay, cool. Like you may just have to have that conversation to stay in your lane. But if that coach is getting out of his lane and trying to tell you what to do and how to run your program and what plays you need to run, which that's a big problem you're going to run into, guys. And even a coach who made mention of a first-time coach, you're going to run into coaches who want to call plays, and they're going to try to tell you during the game what plays you need to call. Shut that shit down fast. I've lost a championship that way, man, listening to other coaches. Unless that coach is like an offensive coordinator, or you give him the green light to help advise you with play calling, or, you know, you need to put him in his place, because if you don't put him in his place, he's going to cost you. And guess what? When he costs you, nobody's going to look at his ass. They're going to look at you because you're the head coach. And that's the funny thing about this whole situation, guys, is that the person that is trying to regulate your program or tell you what plays to call, usually when the shit hits the fan and what they said don't work, they shut up and they let you take all the baggage, all the heat. We're going to do a whole show, guys, on choosing your assistant coaches, because that shit is important. It really is. All right, Coach, I hope that helped. Coach Deuce, my guy. Let me see here. He said, take the coaches that share your views and don't be afraid to talk to experienced coaches. I endorse that 110%. You want, and that's a good point right there. You want to have coaches on your staff who you are aligned with. You have the same set of values. There's respect there to the up degree. If they disrespect you, that's one of the biggest red flags you can see as a coach. Because see, what happens is, this is exactly what happens. And I'm going to say, y'all, I'm going to save somebody a nightmare season. What usually happens when you got coaches on your staff who don't have the same coaching or leadership philosophy as you, what happens is they start to disrespect you. Okay. They usually start disrespecting you by talking behind your back to other coaches or the parents, okay, or other volunteers. Some of them talk to me. Some of them, man, my head coach can't freaking coach. What do I need to do? You don't need to do nothing. The only thing you need to do, coach, is either follow his lead and then next season find another program to coach under, or start your own program. That's what you need to do. Those are your two options. So if you are the head coach and you keep having this problem, they're going to start talking about you behind your back, and you're going to start feeling that energy, that gossip energy, right? And then they're going to start doing things at practice or in the game that totally overstep their bounds. And it's up to you to speak up and talk, because if you don't speak up and talk, what's going to happen, guys, is that they're going to blatantly disrespect you in front of everybody. And now the cat's out the bag. And now other people are going to start trying to disrespect you and question your leadership. And that's when you start having problems. Hope that helped, Coach. Travis said, I do know of the coach that works up at the local high school in my hometown, and there's at least multiple other coaches in my state that will be at the same level, high school flag football, as me. That's good. That's good. Just continue to build relationships with them guys. And I always say, you don't know where that coach is going to be in a year or two, because here's the thing about coaching youth football or football period, the coaching business period at any level. Two things you can guarantee. Number one, coaches get hired and fired all the time. It's a part of the business. Very rarely do you see coaches coach for 20, 25 years at the same place. You don't see that much anymore anyway. So things are always shifting and changing in the coaching community. But number two, the coaching community it's a relationship business. So the more relationships you build, the more opportunities and doors you open for yourself. And that creates opportunities for you to coach down the line, because you may build relationships with a buddy that's coaching youth football with you, but a year or two, he may get a head coaching job, a college job. And guess what? Because y'all buddies, you get on the staff. You may not even have to apply. You may have to go and just talk to the head coach or something, like a little interview, casual interview, but word of mouth holds power, guys. Hands down. Oh, man, I got a great question here. Coach Nick, he want to know, if a player has no father and barely a mother and calls last minute, he will be a no-show. Do I still uphold the missed practice, missed quarter standard? I have been just hurt. Hurts our heart, or it hurts our heart. Okay, got you. Yes. And here's, if you run the program the way I run it and I teach you guys how to run it, that kid's going to be suspended, because for us at our coaches meeting, in our parents meeting, we got rules, right? And I let the parents know, look, if you know you may not be able to take your kid to practice because you're a single mom and you work 2 jobs or whatever the case may be, right? Let us know, because we got a carpooling system in our program. We'll just get one of the parents who volunteer for the carpool to go and pick the kid up and take them home. That's simple. You don't have to call last minute. Like, I try to eliminate that bullshit excuses, you know what I mean? So now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you will get an emergency or something happen where the kid threw up at school and he just won't be able to practice. That's understandable. But for 99% of these parents, like, they'll bullshit you if they can. So it's good to go ahead and have your parents sign the terms and conditions, the parent code of conduct, have them sign that. But make sure you let them know day one what will happen if the kid misses practice, and what the parent can do to make sure that the kid is there at practice, and make sure you have resources and support for the families in your program. So if something like that happens, you got their back, especially if you in a program where you got a lot of single moms, which, you know, for me, I coached half of my coaching career in the hood. You know, it's a lot of single moms there, and a lot of them do need, some help getting the kids to practice and stuff. Some, but most will bullshit you. Most, I mean, I got it seared in my mind, guys. I coach 45 minutes away from my house. Our practice field is 5 minutes away from where I pick up most of the kids. And you pick up the kids, the parents partying, barbecuing, getting drunk, getting high, all of that. And they just using you. They think you a babysitter. So you pick them up, you like the daycare bus to them. So you got to hold the parents' foot to the fire, you know, when it comes down to, showing up to practice on time, being there on time, and doing things like that. So yeah, definitely uphold the standard. Because here's the thing, if you don't uphold the standard, either that same parent going to try to bullshit you, or other parents, because let's just be honest, youth football programs, parents talk, right? Like, girl, this how these parents be. Girl, yeah, I don't feel like taking this boy to practice today. I'm just call the coach and tell him he won't be able to make it today. Little Johnny's sick. And then her homegirl who got a kid on the team gonna say, girl, I know what you saying, girl. I think I'm gonna call too. I'm gonna text too, or I'm gonna do it tomorrow. And before you know it, you got a culture and a trend in your program. Don't ask me how I know, where parents are calling it, oh, my son won't make it today. He's sick. My son won't make it today. He got a birthday party. My kid won't make it today. And now you got a problem on your hands. Y'all feel me? All right, guys, we got 7 more minutes. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss none of y'all questions. Coach. F that. You play like you practice. Facts. Oh my God, I love this one. Shout out to Major. Tough practices make for easy games. That's facts. I've lived that. If you have soft practices, you're going to, okay. Oh, I got to say this. I've been thinking about this all day, guys. I'm glad it just came back to me. I'm going to give you a nugget on something. Here's a gem. If you practice soft and you practice just because you want your kids to have fun and be safe, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Karma is going to get your ass. Karma is going to get your ass. And here's what I mean. You practice soft. You want your kids to have fun. Your program is all about fun. And then what's going to happen is you're going to play against a team that don't practice soft. They practice hard, disciplined, tough, and they're going to whoop your team ass. And I say that with all due respect, okay? I'm not saying that to disrespect you or any of your kids. But what's going to happen is you're going to get your boys drug across the field because they're not used to playing a team with that level of intensity. If you let your kids go with executing that practice, half-assing with drills, half-assing with speed at practice, all of that, you half-assing, your coaching staff, they're not showing up to practice half of the time, you know what's going to happen? When the game comes, that half-ass practice is going to be a half-ass game, and you're going to get exposed and embarrassed, and now the parents looking at you, and they think you can't coach. And maybe you can't. Maybe you can. But they're going to think you can't coach. Coach Eric says, pound the rock, in my opinion, is the most important philosophy in youth football. Teaching the kids the value of coming in and working towards the same goals of splitting the rock and a real brotherhood. I love it, Coach. I love it. And this is the thing. This is what I love about football, especially football coaching, is that my coaching philosophy may not be your coaching philosophy, and that's okay. But it may be your coaching philosophy, right? My coaching philosophy, guys, is wrapped around hard work, teamwork, leadership, sportsmanship. Okay? And those are just some. We got other. Professionalism is a big one. It's a big part of my philosophy. So what your philosophy does, what your coaching philosophy does for you, Coach, it helps you both attract the right people in your program, from coaches down to kids, and it helps you filter out people who don't align with your program, from coaches to kids. Oh, that's so good, y'all. That's so good. That's a nugget. That's why I talk so hard on knowing your coaching philosophy, learning it, developing it, realizing, and it may change and morph. It will change and morph as more experience you get. But you got to have standards in your program, because if you don't have standards in your program, people are going to set their own standard and they're going to dictate the way your program flows. And nobody wants that, because then you get to the point where you're having a nightmare season. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And by the end of the season, now probably by the middle of the season, you're going to want to quit. And you're going to say, shit, this is the last time I'm coaching football. I've been there. Been there, done that. This is a great question by Coach Tillman. What's up, bro? He said, how do you get through to your assistant coaches that are great men but not great coaches? Been there, done that too. So for me, Coach, and this is very important and critical, okay? You got to understand, you got to be able to analyze and know if this is a good man or a good coach or both or neither, right? And so relationships and communication is super important. We have a coaches meeting in the summertime. We have another one in the fall. But in between that, I like to talk to my coaches, get to know them, let them know what we're planning to do. And usually they start to show red flags. They may not show up to your coaches meeting. They may not show up to your phone meeting. We do a lot of like, I actually had a Facebook group where my coaches come in and we'll do a video chat or something. Like if they're always unavailable or they always questioning your leadership, it's like they're always combative. No matter what you do, they're always combative. Like those are signs. Now, sometimes you can just have a conversation with them and they'll step back. And you have to be the alpha of your program. Let me say that too. You got to be the alpha. Let them know. You know, they may have to step back. But if they keep disrespecting you and nudging on, you have to let them go. Man, I can't tell you the amount of coaches I've let go through the years. I probably let go probably 5 or 6 coaches. And I've coached and developed and helped. My coaching tree is like 40 to 50 coaches. So of those 40 to 50 coaches, I've let go 5 or 6. Okay. And of those 5 or 6, they all have the same traits. They don't respect your coaching philosophy. They not only question your decision making, but they criticize your decision making, especially to fellow coaches and parents and other volunteers. And then their body language is crap. Usually they'll be in the corner, you know, on the sideline. They're quiet, but they're staring, you know, analyzing, talking shit in their head. That's usually, you know, kind of what happens. All right, guys, with that being said, so it's almost 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, okay? I'm sorry I had to do a quick shift, a quick pivot. I want to get to one more question before we get off of here, okay, guys? I want to make sure it's a good one. If you got a good one and you want me to get to it, the super chat guarantees that I get to it. If not, I'm going to go down right now and just find the best question, guys. Let me see here. Y'all bear with me. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to oh, that's a good one. I love it. I love it. All right. Coach Jacobs. Coach Jacobs says, what's your view on high school feeder programs? I love this question. I get it from time to time. So I've had feeder programs, and with most of the programs I've started, I started it from the ground up. Original name, original color scheme, original branding. Okay. The time that okay, let me bag up and say this first and foremost. I have no problem with feeder programs, but there's some things you need to be mindful of. The feeder program that you are associated with, make sure they got a good reputation. I'm telling you what I know on that. If you like a part of a feeder program that got a losing culture and reputation, and they got a track record of not supporting youth football programs, they don't support you, man, you'll run into hell. True story. We became a feeder program for the local high school in my hometown, right? And before that, we won a championship the year before. It was the East Side Warriors. We switched to the Ironman. I'm gonna share it. Fuck it. I'm gonna share it. We switched to the Holt Ironman Youth Football and Cheer Program. Big mistake. Biggest mistake. Mistake number one was the reputation of the school and things of that nature. It drove away a lot of people, especially quality people. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. With my East Side Warriors team, it was a regional team, meaning that it wasn't associated with any high school, but we was getting kids from all. And while you not, and this is why I say, if you can avoid having a feeder program, avoid it. Unless it's a great school and got a high reputation and high demand. Okay, like Hoover, like I'm close to Hoover High School. Those who know Hoover High School, you know, over the years, they've been a really dominant football program. So if your brand is the Hoover Buccaneers, you're going to get a lot of kids. But if your name is the Holt Ironman, you're going to get people running away from you. So the kids and the parents who came to my East Side Warriors program came from all over the county because we was a regional youth football program, right? When we became the Holt Ironman, we became a community program. So we were smaller. Parents didn't want their kids to be associated with that area, nor the name, really, because we practice in the same spot, but they didn't want to be associated with the name. So they pulled their kids. So make sure, if you're going to do a feeder program, make sure it's got a good reputation, man. I'm telling you what I know on that. If you can, though, and I tell any of you guys, if you can, start an original team. It's nothing like starting a team from the ground up, and you got your own color scheme, your own brand, and all of that. The whole 9 yards. It's just better. It's just better. All right. Coach want to know, how do you super chat? Can't figure it out. I believe when you go to the comments, Coach, there should be like a, if I'm not mistaken, like a money sign or emblem. And that you click on it, you're able to do the super chat, if I'm not mistaken. Miss Beast is on here. Miss Beast, do you know how to activate the super chat? Anybody, if anybody on here that know how to activate the super chat, please let Coach Garrett know, because on my side, I'm using a completely different platform to stream this, so I can't see it from the YouTube perspective. Yeah. Miss B says there's a money symbol next to the emoji smiley face. And guys, I promise next show too, I'll give a little tutorial on that. But Miss B says there's a money symbol next to the emoji smiley face. All right. Oh, okay. He got it. He got it. Shout out to Coach Garrett. Coach Garrett said, found it. Thanks, Miss Beast. Awesome. Hey guys, show some love to Miss Beast. Isn't she awesome, man? She be in the chats working the back end. I'm trying to get her to do a show. I'm trying to get her to do a show with me, a collab show where you're able to ask her questions and me questions. And it's going to be especially helpful for if you got a wife that's going to be a teen mom, or just how to pick a teen mom or a VP, or if you got your wife participating, that's the time. So I'm going to get her this week, probably Thursday. I'm going to get her on the show. All right, last question here. Well, I take that back. Hold on. Let me make sure I don't miss Garrett. Let's see. Letting the truth of language go. I feel that. Thanks, Coach. My pleasure, brother. All right, let me see here. Kent want to know, how often are you live? First timer here. Yeah, man. So we are live Monday through Thursday, Coach, at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. What I always recommend for you guys, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. You shouldn't miss it. Okay. And I'm going to start doing like a schedule for the show, so you guys can have the option to go ahead and be notified before the show starts. Okay. Now, what I love about my show, guys, this is our show, first of all. I know it's the Coach B show, but what I love about this show is that the same guys show up, and it's always new guys every show. So we are growing like wildfire. And I appreciate all of you guys who chime in every single day when we do lives, man. I got so much love and respect for you guys. Y'all make our day better. No doubt, y'all make our day better. And Coach Deuce says, behind every good man, there's a great woman. Hell yeah. You got that right. And Mason says, my wife is the cheer coach. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna promise y'all this, and I'm not gonna promise tomorrow. You got to tune in. I'm gonna have a special guest on the show either tomorrow or Thursday, and that special guest on the show is going to be the one and only Miss Beast. I'm putting her on the spot a little bit, but we're gonna have a show with Miss Beast on. Make sure you guys tune in and all of that good stuff. Okay. Y'all like that? Y'all want Miss Beast on the show? Give me a 1 in the comments if y'all want Miss Beast on the show. Give me a 1. Hey, if y'all don't, give me a 2. Give me a 2. Oh man. Got a 1. Nelson says 1. Travis, 1. Jazzy B, 1. Kent, 1. I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Urban, 1. I hope I said that right. My boy Coach Deuce, 1. Mason, 1. Miss Beast, 3 laughing emojis. So this is what we're gonna do, guys. See, Coach Garrett found you on Instagram. Is this the best place to support you? Great question, bro. So, okay, so let me put it like this. If you like more like more shorts or more like 3-minute or less videos, Instagram is where you want to go. But if you love the show and want more of a personal touch with me, YouTube. I'm really got, guys, I got 156 followers on IG, and I'm on there the most right now, but I'm transitioning to be on YouTube the most. Okay. So, you know, if you want to support me, it's a lot of ways you can do it. You can follow me on TikTok, IG, or YouTube. Now, if you enjoy this platform, you know, you can stay dialed in on YouTube. If you just a fan of me and you really just want to learn in the whole 9 yards, follow me on every platform. Okay, guys, just follow me on every platform, and that way you don't miss nothing. Because I'm on here every day. I post every day. This is what I do full time, and so doing this is just fun. Hey, Eric says nobody about to throw up a 2 with watching her. Damn straight, coach. You're right. Damn straight. All right, guys. So with that being said, we're gonna have Miss Beast on the show this week, either tomorrow or Thursday. So make sure you tune in. As always, guys, I totally forgot about this, and I know a lot of you guys already know. Look, if you're interested in getting any of my playbooks, the entire system, all you have to do is go to my online playbook store. I will put the link here in the bio. Excuse me, the comment section real quick. If you guys are interested in getting any of my playbooks, the Beast Offense, you name it. Coach Garrett, love the chat, man. Hey, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is like one of my favorite things to do in the day. Like, I'm an introvert, believe it or not, guys. Like, I know some of you guys know that if y'all been watching it. I'm an introvert. I like to be to myself. I don't like to talk a lot. You know, I don't have a lot of friends, and that's on purpose, right? I had all my friends in college and in my 20s. Now that I got a whole family and all of that good stuff, I like to keep my family safe and protected, and I like, you know, to be around my family. I enjoy my wife. She's my best friend, and I love talking to other football coaches. That's why I do this. I love coaches. Of course, I love players, but I love talking to guys like you. Y'all make my day. Real talk. And I got to give Coach Tillman some love for the super chat, brother. I appreciate you. Coach said, I follow you on Instagram, but this is my first time tuning in. Just want to tell you to keep doing what you're doing, man. Hey, I appreciate that, bro. Man, much love, man, respect. And I hope to see you again on the show, Coach Tillman. I hope to see you tomorrow or sometime this week. I don't know your availability. Had to put this too, tuning in from Jacksonville, Arkansas, with the Jacksonville Mighty Vikings. I love that. Love that. A 40-year-old program. Man, respect, bro. Love it, man. You keep representing, man, and doing what you're doing. I'm here every day for you guys, all right? So with that being said, man, I don't even want to get off. I don't even want to get off. Like, I feel the love. I don't want to get off. But, guys, I appreciate all the love and support. Coach Garrett, I see you, man. We're going to have Miss Beast on, so make sure, guys, y'all tune in tomorrow and Thursday so y'all don't miss what we're going to discuss and talk about. All right, guys? So with that being said, guys, y'all have a blessed rest of the evening, and I will see you all on tomorrow. Beast out.